Today we are going to be getting some backstory on Italy. How Italy's mafias ruined Europe's underground.
24 hours in a day, but I be streaming. I don't care about a bust down or stacking to the ceiling. I grind so much, I can't be a human being.
In Italy, there are four distinct and powerful criminal empires. In Sicily, you have the Cosa Nostra, who initially created, shaped and spread the legendary image of the mafia and once held the Italian state in a deadly embrace. In Naples, you have the sprawling, chaotic Camorra, an organization best described.
We are racist even with Italian people. It depends on with the zone and the city, and we have a stereotype. Bro, I've heard that, like, what is it? There's Southside Italy, Northside Italy, and then there's apparently you guys don't count people from Napoli as Italian. They're like their own country or something like that.
As a hydra that poisons the earth for profit. In Apulia, the Sacra Corona Unita reigns, who are the
Napoleon, there we go. He just said Napoleon.
Flowing from the Balkans. And finally, there is the one from the mountains of Calabria, the impenetrable and most powerful of them all, Ndrangheta. These four criminal empires don't just break the law, they have enough financial firepower to distort entire markets, infiltrate legitimate businesses, and bring whole sectors of the economy to their knees. The Ndrangheta, for example, is estimated to have annual revenues surpassing 53 billion euros. But to understand the Italian mafia, you'll have to look at their extremely clever geopolitical plays.
Bro, at this point, that means that most of the billionaires that make up flipping Italy must be mafians. Like, mafians must be part of the mafia.
And each of these four Italian mobs do geopolitics slightly differently.
Also, I highly believe that if you could literally run a mafia, why don't you just run it like a legal business? Like, literally, if you could accumulate like 53 billion from literally doing illegal stuff, imagine what you could do if you had a legal business. They just be investing their skill sets in the wrong areas.
Will all be revealed throughout this video, so let me break down these four criminal empires one by one. Starting with the one a lot of you probably know thanks to Hollywood, the Sicilian Cosa Nostra, which means our thing. Think of them as the politicians. Their power.
Okay, this is last pause. Like from Naples, the stereotype is that all the people from Naples are thieves, or like with the Calabrian people, we call them monkeys. What the fuck? So you guys be calling people monkeys even when they're not black? So you don't even be calling people monkeys because they're black? Every place have a stereotype. Try to guess which stereotype we have for Sicilia. I'm gonna guess the LGBTQ. Obviously, no problem with the LGBTQ. No problem, please. No problem. But yeah,
comes from a formal hierarchical structure. See, the island of Sicily is divided into territories controlled by families, all of which is overseen by a board of directors called the Commission or Cupola. Their geopolitical signature has always been getting into bed with power. For decades, they maintained a deep alliance with Italy's ruling political party, trading massive blocks of votes for political protection and a steady stream of lucrative government contracts, especially in construction. But while the Cosa Nostra was playing the local political game, another group was quietly building a global empire. Meet the Ndrangheta. If Cosa Nostra are the politicians, the Ndrangheta are the CEOs. They are now, without a doubt, the most powerful and financially formidable criminal organization on the planet. And
so, like, with this information, like, why don't the government just go and arrest them? Because if this journalist has all this information and just can collect all of this, why can't the government just be like, oh, yo, man, arrest everybody there. Let's go. We're raiding every single house. We're taking all of them. Like, what is stopping, bro? Like, what is stopping him? For Sicilia, we say that all the Sicilian persons are associated with the mafia. Talking about mafia, after you listen to Toto et Nita by Jules, talks about this couple, which is about Toto Rina, who is a mafia boss, and his wife, Nita. Okay, I'm never going to get into that. I don't want to get involved in mafia shit. I don't want beef with no mafias, bro. Please. Like, blood is not that easy. Bro, what? But even if it isn't that easy, it's been years, bro. Even if it should be like something that's happening bit by bit.
Their secret is their structure, a structure I'll reveal in just a moment, but first you may know that in some of my videos I've mentioned that I'm Danish, but a little while ago I wanted to be 100% sure, so I partnered with my
I heard it, bro. I knew you would go put in a... Shout out to this guy though. Shout out to this guy. To be fair, I don't really chat. How important do you think it is to find out your heritage? Like, I don't think it changes anything. Like, people be like, I need to know where I came from. Bro, it's not going to change that you're a piece of crap, bro. Like, not even being rude. Like it's not going to change. If you're a terrible person, you knowing where you came from doesn't change that you are a terrible person. Like, so I could better my life. Like, bro, just better your life. You don't need to know where you came from, bro. Like, the heck?
Is that our license, your own, and so my structure is so different and video. Okay, now back to the Ndrangheta and why their structure.
No, bro. No, bro. They are dead and they are Italian. What? Oh, bro, they are dead and they are Italian? What do you mean? I still don't want to offend any Mafians, bro. Don't want to offend no Mafians, bro.
So powerful. See, it's a decentralized network of around 100 clans called Ndrangheta, which are almost exclusively on blood family relationships. Their strength is absolute trust. Since it's a literal family business, it's nearly impossible for police to infiltrate them. This structure has allowed them to become a global logistics conglomerate, whose main product is cocaine, and they currently control 80% of the cocaine supply
Bro, I thought it was the Albanians that had this on lockdown, bro.
In Europe.
What?
Then we have the oldest and most chaotic of the groups, the Neapolitan Camorra, best described as the street fighters. Unlike the other two, the Camorra doesn't have any central leadership. It's a horizontal, fragmented collection of hundreds of rival clans that control neighborhoods and economic sectors in and around Naples. This leads to constant, brutal turf wars. Although I did find this article when I was editing this video in my further research.
What is this? This is about how Italy's mafia runs Europe's underground. Hey, yo, Elton, I can't lie that Albanians have they have some competition, bro. I can't lie. They have some competition. Like, they running like 80% of the cocaine right now, bro. Like, you guys need to up your shit up.
Of this topic, it says that the mafia is actually working together now and the turf wars have kind of ended, at least for now. So yeah, I just wanted to add that to the video. Their signature is the parasitic exploitation of a dense urban economy. They control everything from smuggling at the port to the high fashion counterfeit industry, and most infamously the region's waste management. See, they get paid by industries all over Europe to illegally dump toxic waste, creating a devastating environmental crisis in what's now called the Land of Fires. In 1992, an ex-Camorra boss confessed to investigators, and I quote,
Bro, this is what I don't get about journalists, bro. If a journalist can get this information, why can't the government just be like, oh, yeah, cool, we know about this. Let's solve this. Let's get this. Hey, bro, things are really like, I know people want to say like, oh, stuff isn't that simple, bro. Stuff really do be that simple, bro. Cause like, if people wanted to go to war, they're going to war. So clearly stuff is very simple. You know what I'm saying? They just don't want to.
Now I have another business. It pays more and the risk is less. It's called garbage. For us, garbage is gold. And he's right. In 2013,
you could be a millionaire from throwing garbage.
And hazardous waste brought in over 16 billion euros for Italy's organized crime groups. And finally, the new kid on the block.
Imagine going to prison, yeah. Imagine going to prison and they're like, so what are you here for? I'm here for murder. Then he's like, okay, what are you here for, bro? I don't want to talk about it. No, what are you here for? I'm here for throwing garbage into the ocean. We had a big one organization, we made billions of it. Like, flipping out, I would laugh, bro. Like, I would laugh, like, dead ass. Like, what do you mean you're in prison because you're throwing stuff into the ocean, bro? And it's a... Like, come on, man. What are we doing here?
The Sacra Corona Unita, or the United Sacred Crown, the gatekeepers. Formed in a prison in 1983, their geopolitical signature comes...
Bro, if you jail one people, his friends will kill you and do some attacks, bro. What the flip? So basically, you can't arrest anybody in the mafia or you will get killed. So then, damn. So the government's corrupt.
Directly from the geography of the region they're from, located on the heel.
it's not about how big the waves is, it's about the motion of the ocean. Bro, what kind of Diddy shit you talking about?
Of Italy, Apulia
So
is
the government's
actually the
corrupt.
strategic bridge to the east. They've leveraged this position to become masters of the Adriatic Sea, forming powerful alliances with Albanian and other Balkan
I knew it, bro. The Albanians had to play a part in this. Anything with drugs related, you had Albanians. You had, bro, why they everywhere? Anything to do with drugs, they're dead. Like, what? Drugs? Money? Listen, we the ones. Listen, we're the ones that made the world spin.
to smuggle drugs, weapons and people from Eastern Europe into the rest of the EU. These crime groups run short night runs across the Strait of Otranto in fast boats and regular-looking leisure craft, landing near Otranto, Brindisi and Santa Maria de Luzzal, beaches you have to pay.
Okay, bro, can you put Italian subtitles? Yeah, I got you, bro. Wait, hold on. Oh, there you are.
SCU to use. If you don't, they shut you down immediately. In the 90s, it was mostly cigarettes that traveled through these routes, but after the crackdowns, the same lanes shifted to Albanian weed, Balkan route heroin, weapons, and people. So there you have it.
When I asked for subtitles, you screen. Sorry, bro.
4 families, 4 unique business models. They're
he
all
asked nicely
and intricate, but one has by far been the most successful, and that is, of course, the Ndrangheta. With their corporate, globalized approach, they've built an international empire on a scale the world has never seen before. An empire that, for the most part, stands on a single product. See, as we now know, the engine of the modern mafia's wealth and power is the international narcotics trade, and the Ndrangheta built their global empire on the back of cocaine, as I mentioned earlier. The Ndrangheta's genius, however, was to do what any smart legal corporation does and cut out the middleman. They didn't want to buy from a long chain of suppliers, so they sent their own people to South America and established direct business-to-business relationships with the producing cartels.
See, like, this is what I mean. Like, these guys are good at business. Like, imagine if they put this mind with something legal. Like, imagine what they could do to the world if they just put this mind with something.
Quickly becoming trusted partners, enabling them to negotiate bulk prices at the source. But that's just the beginning, because they also managed the entire supply chain from South America. They arrange for transatlantic shipment, often using West African countries such as Guinea-Bissau, Guinea and Sierra Leone, nations with weak governance, porous borders and high levels of corruption, as massive storage and transit hubs, as well as Caribbean islands like the Dominican Republic, Trinidad and Jamaica.
No! Why Jamaica? No, Jamaica!
End up at the final destination, which is of course Europe, through the main container ports. But one port stands out from the rest. This is the port of Gioia Tauro, Ndrangheta's crown jewel. As one of the biggest transshipment hubs in the Mediterranean, it's the perfect nexus for their global operations. And their method is brilliant in its simplicity. It's called the rip-off technique. Let me explain. They don't need to own the ships or the shipping companies. They just need to own a few key people along the supply chain. A corrupt worker in a South American port will open a legitimate sealed container bound for Europe, place a shipment of cocaine inside, and reseal it. The container number is then communicated to a counterpart who simply retrieves the drugs upon arrival. This method is cheaper, harder to detect, and spreads the risk across the vast orb.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, this guy's part of the Italian mafia, bro. Like, why does he know this in utmost detail? What they do, they open up the thing and then they swear on the... Why, if this is public information, bro, can we not stop this? Bro!
Flow of legitimate global commerce. It's a system that turns the lifeblood of our global economy into a delivery service for the world's
Bro's a captain.
Criminal enterprise. Sure, authorities do catch some of these shipments, but their advantage is scale. There's simply no way the authorities will catch it all. Now, getting the drugs in is only half the battle, as the byproduct of this monopolistic control of moving cocaine into Europe is cash. Mountains and mountains of cash that they need to launder somehow. This is the final and most critical part of the mafia's
This is how you wash money.
Sophisticated industrial scale money laundering. The process always follows 3 stages. Step 1 is placement, and this is also the riskiest part, getting the physical cash into the financial system. They do this by mixing it with the daily receipts of a legitimate cash-intensive front business they own, like a restaurant, a bar, or...
Bro, I can't lie, that's like central London, bro. Central London, it has to be a laundering business, bro. Nobody goes inside of those sweet shops. No one goes inside of those sweet shops, bro. They have to be laundering money.
A construction company. The dirty money gets commingled with clean money and deposited into a bank account. The dirty clothes are now in the machine. Step 2 is layering. This is the wash cycle. The goal is to obscure the money's origin through a dizzying series of complex financial transactions. The money is wired between dozens of bank accounts and shell companies in different countries, converted into different currencies and used to buy and sell assets. The whole point is to create a paper trail so convoluted that no investigator could ever hope to follow it back to its source. The final step is integration. The now clean money is reintroduced into the legitimate economy. It can be used to buy real estate, invest in the stock market, or provide loans to other businesses. This is how the mafia wages economic warfare. See, during an economic crisis, when a legitimate hotel or construction firm is about to go bankrupt and can't get a loan from a bank, who has billions in cash ready to buy it for pennies on the dollar? They do. This is how they colonize entire sectors of the legal economy. Construction, waste management, tourism, agriculture, they got it all. They hollow out free market competition from the inside, replacing it with a criminal monopoly that makes them even richer and more powerful. It's a slow-motion corporate takeover of Europe funded by cocaine. But since there are 4 main mafias in Italy, you might be wondering why the Ndrangheta ended up becoming the most powerful, especially considering the Sicilian Cosa Nostra is the oldest and was in fact the most powerful in the 1980s. So what happened? Well, in the 1980s, the Italian state decided it was time to fight back against the powerful Sicilian Cosa Nostra, launching an all-out war against them. What followed was the most significant offensive ever launched against organized crime. Enter the Maxi trial. From 1986 to 1987, in this specially constructed fortified bunker courthouse in Palermo, the Italian state put the entire leadership of the Sicilian Cosa Nostra on trial.
Hey, yo, why does this look so funny?
At once, 475 mafiosi, meaning members of the mafia, were indicted, resulting in 338 convictions and thousands of years in prison sentences. The state had finally broken the back of the Sicilian
About time!
In doing so, it created a power vacuum on the global stage, and a new beast was waiting in the wings to take its place. The very thing that made the Cosa Nostra so powerful, its centralized and hierarchical structure, was also its fatal weakness. Once the informant Tommaso Buscetta gave the state the organizational chart, they knew exactly which heads to target. By decapitating the leadership, they could cripple the entire organization. And it worked. But the crackdown on the centralized Cosa Nostra created the perfect opening for the decentralized, family-based Ndrangheta to take over the global market. Because they were a network, not a pyramid. Their power was spread across 100 different blood family clans. Cutting off one head just meant another family was ready to step up and take its place. They were more resilient, more adaptive, and more global than the Sicilians had ever been. And this is why the mafia endures. It's a constantly evolving threat that adapts to the world around it. The evolution from the rigid Cosa Nostra to the flexible Ndrangheta actually mirrors the evolution of modern corporations from old school hierarchies to agile 21st century.
Bro, this guy definitely got banned from Italy, bro. Like, there's no way that they're letting him in Italy, bro. This guy dead ass just put like a whole spotlight on the whole organization.
Networks. But yeah, that is the Italian mafia. I hope you like
this guy definitely involved.
Please leave.
Wait, that's the end? Below. I thought there was more.
And lastly, thanks to my heritage.
Oh yeah, hey, shout out to the yeah, hey, if you guys want to click on that, fairs, bro. But hey, W video, bro. What's his name? OBF, bro. W video, bro. I can't lie. Oh, what? That's crazy. So like the whole economy is literally being held together by the mafia. And even if they try to stop the mafia, another person takes over, and then it's just a loop. Because it's like 3 mafias who's fighting for the, not really fighting, but they're kind of like trying to be at the top. So then if we take out one, the other one just becomes more powerful. You take out that one, other one becomes more powerful. Want to know a funny fact about a famous mafia boss? Go on. I'm all ears. A mafioso named Matteo Messino, who had disappeared from the radar for about 30 years, was discovered in his mother's house after having created another life for himself. The police knocked on the door, and he opened the door and was arrested. How the heck was that a funny fact? Like, why that was wholesome? Bro disappeared for 30 years, create a whole new life, put the life behind them, was like, yo, this is bad stuff that I'm doing. No, forget this. I just want to live a normal life. Lived a normal life for 30 years, not the same person anymore. Knocked on the door now, and they literally arrested him for stuff they did in the past that he's not even the same person. How would that be funny? Where was the joke?